Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Dana Villa from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. In the wake of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, Pope Francis prayed for the victims of the conflict and appealed to the nations to seek peace. He made this exhortation during his general audience at St. Peter's Square yesterday, October 12. The Holy Father prayed that the Lord's Spirit may transform the hearts of those who hold the fate of the war in their hands, so that the hurricane of violence may cease. In these days, my heart is with the Ukrainian people, especially the inhabitants of places where the bombings have raged, the pontiff said. Dwelling on the same issue, Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro Parolin said in an interview with Italian weekly Famiglia Cristiana that weapons must be silenced, and if partisan interests prevail, then the world has no future. The U.S. has imposed visa restrictions on members of the Taliban and their supporters who are responsible for the repression of women and girls in the country. Secretary of State Antony Blinken issued a statement on Tuesday, October 11, announcing the visa restriction policy under Section 212A3C of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The members of the Taliban and their cohorts who prevent girls from accessing higher studies from 6th grade, restrict women from the workforce, and engage in violence and harassment will be prevented from entering the USA. Immediate family members of such persons may also be subject to those restrictions. Reacting to this move, the Afghan Foreign Ministry said in a statement that the policy is an obstacle to the development of ties between the two countries. The Council of Patriarchs and heads of the churches in Jerusalem has expressed deep concern over the possible transfer of the British embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. In a statement, the council said the relocation of the UK embassy would be a further impediment to the advancing of the already moribund peace process between Israel and Palestinians. On September 21, British Prime Minister Liz Truss had hinted in New York about the relocation of the embassy during a meeting with her Israeli counterpart Yair Lapid. This drew flack from Palestinian leaders and the Arab League. Both Israel and Palestine consider Jerusalem to be their capital city. For this reason, most countries, including the United Kingdom, use Tel Aviv as their diplomatic headquarters. In 2017, the United States had relocated its embassy to Jerusalem. After the worst flood havoc killed nearly 500 people across Nigeria, the Christian Association of Nigeria, or CAN, has urged the federal government to set up a presidential flood relief committee to assist victims. In a statement issued on October 11, the leaders of the top Christian body called on government officials to launch more relief measures for those affected. According to CAN, the government should come up with plans to avoid the catastrophic situation the country would face following the flood havoc. The outfit has urged the formation of a committee comprising wealthy Nigerians who would assist in the restoration of the country. The floods caused by incessant rain has devastated 29 of the 36 states in West African nation, having more than 80,000 homeless. As a result of flooding, many traders and travelers got stuck in various regions. The streets of Boston here in the U.S. will witness a pro-life men's march on Saturday, October 15. Hundreds of faithful men are expected to take part in the pro-life rally defending the sanctity of life from the time of conception. Organizers have urged men to take part in the march alongside their sons as a token of solidarity towards the human life killed in the womb. Those marching will gather outside the local Planned Parenthood abortion center on Commonwealth Avenue. Then they will march to the Massachusetts state capitol, where they will pray together for the cause of life and end to abortion. The Rally for Life will take place following prayers. According to Jim Havens, one of the co-founders of the National Men's March to abolish abortion and rally for personhood, is an initiative where the faithful are called to proclaim that every unborn is worthy of love and life from the time of conception. Canada's pro-life advocates and groups defending the sanctity of life have condemned a medical organization's willingness to administer medically assisted death to severely ill newborns. Dr. Louis Roy, a representative of the Quebec College of Physicians, shared his organization's willingness to offer euthanasia for newborns. Dr. Roy said infants diagnosed with severe illnesses and syndromes have fewer chances of survival, so the organization believes in providing them with euthanasia. Decrying this proposal to be nothing different from infanticide, pro-life advocacy groups said it refuses the infant's right to live. According to Nation Post, various pro-life advocates slammed the Quebec College of Physicians for their anti-life stance. Inclusion Canada, an organization for the disabled, expressed concern over Dr. Roy's proposal. Alex Schadenberg, director of the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, raised a question asking whether it is necessary to end the life of sick newborns who may not survive with medicine to let them die naturally. More than 36 U.S. lawmakers from the House and the Senate, led by Representative Chip Roy and Senator Mike Lee, wrote a letter to the FBI seeking information over the recent arrest of pro-life advocates using the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, also known as FACE. Deploring the attack against an individual's faith and condemning the authorities' silence over the repeated violence against various pro-life centers earlier this year, the lawmakers said the arrest of pro-life individuals was politicized prosecution. In the letter addressing FBI Director Christopher Wray, lawmakers raised their concerns over the authenticity of the Bureau, which is weaponizing the FACE Act. The letter cites various incidents of nonviolent pro-life activists being detained without cause. The FACE Act, passed in 1994, makes it a federal crime to use force, the threat of force, or physical obstruction to prevent individuals from obtaining or providing reproductive health care services. In the U.S. state of Michigan, a Catholic church was vandalized with pro-abortion and anti-Catholic graffiti. On Saturday, October 8, authorities of the Church of the Resurrection in Lansing released the surveillance camera footage that captured the vandals in the act. One could see 3 hooded men in t-shirts approaching the church on foot before midnight and spraying graffiti on the walkway, doors, and the name board of the church. The graffiti contained words of hatred towards the Supreme Court for repealing Roe v. Wade. 2 inverted crosses were also spray-painted on the church doors. The vandals also scrawled obscenity on the walkway and LED signboard. The vicar of the Church of the Resurrection, Father Steve Matson, told the media of the estimated $15,000 in damages. In the Mexican state of Jalisco, millions of Catholic believers thronged the streets to take part in the pilgrimage to the shrine of Our Lady of Zapopan on Wednesday, October 12. It was a special occasion as the pilgrimage took place after a 2-year gap. Governor Enrique Alfaro expressed his joy on Twitter over the participation of 2.4 million pilgrims. He added that this year's participation has broken a 288-year-old record. The pilgrimage was marked by Holy Mass, presided over by the Archbishop of Guadalajara, Cardinal Francisco Robles Ortega, at the Zapopan Basilica. The pilgrimage also marked the return of an image of Our Lady of Zapopan, also known as Generala, from the Cathedral of Guadalajara to the Basilica. The Holy Virgin has since been venerated as Generala since 1821, after she was given the title of General of the Trigarante Army, which fought for the Catholic religion, independence, and the Union. Pope Francis has called on Catholic bishops of Asia to embrace their mission as a church for the poor and young people. He made this appeal in a video message sent on Wednesday, October 12, to members of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conferences who are gathered in the Thai capital of Bangkok for their 50th General Conference. This year, the bishops gathered under the theme FABC 50, Journeying Together as Peoples of Asia. The General Conference, which got underway on Wednesday, October 12, will go on until October 30. It also marks the Golden Jubilee of the establishment of the conference. In his message, Pope Francis also recalled the visit of Pope Paul VI to Asia, home to many cultures and religions. The pontiff urged Asian bishops to look into the future and find out what the Spirit is asking them. He said they must answer what the Spirit is saying to the churches in Asia. In Brazil, the Catholic bishops have urged the faithful to elect leaders who could emphasize human dignity and look forward to a more just, fraternal, and united country. This appeal was made by the prelates in a statement signed by Archbishop Walmo Oliveira Azevedo, who heads the Brazilian episcopate. Out of the 12 candidates, the favorites are incumbent Jair Bolsonaro and former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Both Bolsonaro and Lula did not get 50% of the votes in October 2nd election. The country will witness the next round on October 30. A Myanmar court has sentenced the deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi to 3 more years in jail over graft charges. Thus, her prison sentence has been extended to a total of 26 years. The 77-year-old Nobel laureate Suu Kyi has been found guilty of receiving $500,000 in bribes from a local business tycoon, a charge she denied. Her lawyers have said the charges leveled against her were politically motivated. Suu Kyi is currently being held in solitary confinement at a prison in the capital, Naypyidaw. Earlier, Suu Kyi was found guilty of offenses ranging from graft to election violations. Rights groups have repeatedly expressed concern over the punishment of pro-democracy activists in the country since the military seized power. She has been so far convicted on 14 charges. Suu Kyi has not been seen in public ever since the coup. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.